All right, guys, so we are taking a look at the WYBOT C1. Now, this is a really cool robot. It's also, I have to say, one of the most affordable robots that I've seen on the market that has a type of features that this one does. So, a couple things that we're going to highlight about this, and then we'll go through all the mechanics and we'll go through like all the features that you see externally. First of all, this guy is going to be able to do floors, water line. It's going to be able to go up steps, slopes, and it has this technology or this advanced feature that it's called Free Suction 3.0. Right, that's going to give it the ability to work on a lot of different materials. And let's face it, that some pools have a vinyl cover, some pools have fiberglass like mine, others may even have a tile cover or tiling. You don't have to worry about that when you're using this guy right here. So it will be able to cover all those things. Now it's going to work with pool sizes anywhere from 1,291 feet all the way up to 1,615 feet, right? And the battery life that you can see, even though it's so compact, is about 120 minutes to 150 is what they're claiming. And we've been running this in our pool and it's been doing really well. It has 4 cleaning modes that we've mentioned, right? It's going to be, you can choose floor, you can choose the full wall then floor, the orders, right? And you could also, one of the things I found that's really interesting is that when you're looking at a robot, this robot, you can actually tell it to either go this way as it's cleaning or this way, like kind of scattered. There's all these different patterns. And what I found that I find very compelling about the solution is that it actually has an app. It actually has a smart app where you can do all this in it. So you don't have to push the button once to do one thing, press the button twice to do something else, 3 times to get something else engaged. You literally are able to use an app to define it. It also has a frequency setting. So if your pool doesn't require, let's say you're only doing the bottom and it doesn't use up all the battery, you can actually set a frequency. So it will do 4 times, 7 days a week until the battery is extinguished. And I thought that is a cool feature. Now, it does have a triple motor as well. And it has, I guess, again, some really nice durable parts that I found that's really nice about this unit. So let's take a closer look at some of the features that we have here. So we'll go ahead and turn this around, and you're going to see that this, like many of the robots, has a tread system that is tank-like. In the front here, what you see is you have, again, these rubberized, I would say, scrubbers, right? They're not going to scratch anything. They're going to go through. Yeah, this little light here, this area here lights up when you have the robot charging and when it's activated. At the very top, and we'll turn this way like this so we could see it. You do have power. This is kind of where you do your charge. So if you move this out, that's the charging port. I like where it's positioned because I've seen some that are in the back. And I also like the fact that this is secured. I've seen some of them that have like a little rubber plug. I always have to double check, and I even triple check. I look in the pool when it's in the pool to make sure I didn't forget to plug it. I like that this locks in place and it secures it. On the back, and actually what we'll do is we'll look at the bottom. On the bottom here, you can see everything that's going on. Again, the path of suction, it has this little wheel here that helps it move along, some wheels here as well, and it has some nice little fins here for navigation and things of that sort. Let's go ahead and open this up. It does have a really large basket. Now, one of the tricky things I found about this, and I get this is an area of improvement, is that when you take it out, right, and you can see I've cleaned up some of the stuff that it's done already, and here's the path opening, is that when I put it in, this is what happens with me. And that was not rehearsed. I always have trouble sometimes getting this in. It's like, it's too loose. I wish I had a guide so that as I'm putting it in, I just slap it in and I don't have to look. So it's not, that's just one little criticism that I have about the unit. So that's really everything that's going on the outside. And you can see on the top, it does have a handle, which you can use with the hook to pull it out. And then, this is like the little, I don't want to call it a respirator, but as it's doing the suction thing, if you want to know what's on, you're going to see the bubbling coming out as soon as you turn it on and put it in the pool. And this is kind of like where you'll see some of the jet power too. All right, now before we put the robot in the pool, let's take a closer look at the app. And you can see here where you can do the cycle cleaning. You see the robot, it's Bluetooth, it's Wi-Fi, it's online, and you can determine the patterns. You can do the floor, you can do the wall. If you go into expert mode, this is where you could do the patterns that you want to go through. So for example, I'm going to choose my S pattern. That's what I'm going to go with. I could use also an H pattern if that's what I'd like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that one as how I'd want it to operate. You can then say if you want it to be on the floor, you can say, and we're gonna cancel that. We're gonna want to keep my settings. You could go ahead and determine how you want it to process, and then you could also then go into your cycle timer and determine your cycles. I have mine set up for 3 times, right? Until and you notice that as it's doing it, it's basically looking at how much the total time is, and then dividing it on the number of times that you want to run it. So if I use the clean for twice, it's going to do, as you can see right there, two 60-minute intervals. If I wanted to clean 4 times, I can basically go down here and say that, and it's basically going to do 30 minutes each one. And we're going to try it. It's been working out really well, which I like. Other robots that I've tested, you put it in the water, and it just goes until the battery's dead, and then I got to pull it out of the water. This gives me at least days of cleaning, and that's really important to me. Now, this year is a great year for us when it comes to reviewing pool robots, because it seems like every single day we have some type of weather going on and my pool's getting dirty. So this is a great way for us to test what's going on here. So you notice the robot is already on. You can see kind of like the action happening, how powerful those jets are. And it's going to start cleaning in a second. So we're going to just take a look at what's going on here. I have it on my ledge. I have a couple areas. I have some steps on one side of my pool. I have this ledge right here, and you can see how the robot is kind of turning around and adjusting itself. And it should take a dive any second now, and then just go to the bottom. There it goes. And will it survive? Yes, it will. Just messing with you guys. So there is the robot, and it should start taking care of, again, a lot of the debris that we have down there. Typically, when these robots are running on the very bottom of your pool, they're going to just, chart a path, and then as it's charting the path and getting out a camera, it will basically pick up anything in its path. And we see that happening. You're going to see it get to some debris right there, some leaves, and once it goes over it, you can see gone. That's what you want. You just want it to go over it and for it to be gone. Now, the robot is also, we're going to go ahead and follow it over here for a second. So the robot will work the floor. I didn't have it set up to work the walls. I probably should, because I'm noticing, and you can see right here, that I have some leaves stuck to the sides. So I may change that setting in a little bit, but for now we're going to leave it as it is right there. Now, the one thing also that I'll mention about these, just the robot in general, is that it does a really nice job when it comes to moving on the floor. It is fast, right? So it is a fast robot. We're going to go ahead and let it get back on camera, but it moves pretty fast. And one thing I wanted to mention, as this robot is doing his navigation, you need to be able to configure the robot outside of the pool. You won't be able to control or connect to the robot via Bluetooth once it's in the water. So the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth strength is not strong enough. So that's one thing that I've noticed, and they actually put that disclaimer in their documentation, so highlighting that when you put it in the water, you won't be able to connect to it. So I think that's by design. So here you can see where he has, and he'll move pretty fast once he's getting his coordinates down and assessing the pool. You'll see it start moving, and you can see how it's trying to figure things out, turning around. You can see how swift it moves. So. And then once it starts getting into its pattern, it means business. It just goes through the pool super fast, which is something that I really like.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.